benefit the Portland Rescue Mission.
Very cute. Nightly News is next. See you here at 6.
The next battleground. On the eve of Michigan, McCain fighting to stay in the game. A confident Bush now targeting Al Gore. NBC News in depth. The Republican machine hits high gear. How this man could make a big difference for George Bush. Out of control. Where you live, where you work. New images from space show it's getting a lot more crowded. Some answers how to improve the quality of life. Your money. Today's retirees, by far the richest in history. How to protect what you have for yourself and your family. And the emotional memorial for the man who gave us peanuts.
From NBC News, this is NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw. Reporting tonight from Washington.
Good evening. Well, now the pace is speeding up in the race for the Republican presidential nomination as it moves from South Carolina and George Bush's big win there on Saturday to Michigan tomorrow, where the Texas governor has a powerful operation in place. Nevertheless, John McCain is vowing to fight on, especially since his home state of Arizona is also voting tomorrow. In Michigan tonight, however, it's less about issues and much more about tactics. We're going to begin with NBC's David Bloom, who's covering the George Bush campaign. David?
Tom, growing confidence in the Bush camp tonight. They claim their private tracking polls point to a double-digit Bush win here in Michigan tomorrow. Other pollsters claim it's a tighter race, but they say undecided voters do appear to be breaking for Bush after his big win in South Carolina.
I feel victory here in Michigan.
His confidence back, Governor Bush isn't quite ready to dismiss John McCain out of hand, but he is giving the Arizona senator the back of his hand.
You know, he talks about the Iron Triangle in Washington, D.C. He's been ringing that Iron Triangle like a dinner bell, raising the money from lobbyists. It's one thing to talk the talk, it's another thing to walk the walk.
But mostly Bush is now ignoring McCain, firmly convinced that a victory here in Michigan tomorrow would essentially wrap up the Republican nomination. And most political analysts agree.
Bush had to win South Carolina to recover from New Hampshire. If he wins Michigan, I think he pretty much puts away the nomination.
In fact, the Bush campaign is now subtly hinting that McCain should pull out if he loses Michigan tomorrow. And the Texas governor now focuses almost all of his attention on Al Gore. It's as if the fall campaign has already begun. Gore, over the weekend, accuses Bush of lacking, quotes, the guts to take on bigotry, because Bush refused to take a stand on the flying of the Confederate flag in South Carolina and spoke at Bob Jones University there, which critics call segregationist and anti-Catholic.
Yeah, shame on him. Shame on him.
Today, Bush fires back.
And I look forward to debating Vice President Gore. And I look forward to challenging this kind of politics that's so stale and so negative.
Tonight, if you listen to Governor Bush, it's as if his loss in New Hampshire and his sharp turn to the right in South Carolina never happened, as if McCain no longer poses any threat at all. But it's worth remembering that on the night before his 19-point drubbing in New Hampshire, the Bush campaign was equally confident of victory. Tom?
Thanks very much, NBC's David Bloom tonight. Well, for his part, Senator McCain is maintaining his warrior spirit. He's determined to see this through Super Tuesday. That's the big round of primaries on March 7th. And those primaries will determine the nominee. But, as NBC's Ann Thompson tells us now, McCain is angry about the campaign tactics of George Bush. And
indeed he is, Tom. The McCain camp is livid after getting reports of negative phone calls here in Michigan. And tonight they are accusing Governor Bush of running a sleaze campaign, bringing the tactics that worked so well in South Carolina up here in Michigan as McCain goes down to the wire for a win. McCain in Saginaw today trying to project the image of a winner.
If I win tomorrow in Michigan, there's no stopping me, and I'm going.
But with 24 hours to go, experts say he can't afford to lose.
It's not do or die, but you're in the ER if you don't win this.
Michigan is far bigger, more diverse than South Carolina or New Hampshire. Republicans here more moderate than those down south, giving McCain hope that they will respond to his message of governmental reform. But one analyst says those voters may not make much difference.
The fact is, McCain did very poorly with Republicans. Bush beat him about 3-1 with core Republicans. And that's, I think, who will vote in the Michigan primary.
And they will have seen plenty of attack ads from Bush and the groups who support him. Today, the McCain organization firing back in a press release titled Bush Sleaze Campaign Moves North, accusing the Texas governor of orchestrating a smear campaign of phone calls, mail, and TV ads to hurt McCain. Before an overflow crowd in Traverse City this morning, McCain urged voters to turn away from such tactics.
My friends, reject this negative campaigning, reject this character assassination, reject the low road to the presidency, and support those who want to take the high road, because this is terrible what's going on here.
Now, McCain's complaints about tactics may mask a bigger problem. George W. Bush has a better organization, more money, and the support of the Michigan Republican establishment. But McCain's staff, they call this battle here in Michigan, they term it David and Goliath. But win or lose, they say, Tom, they will go on.
Thanks very much, NBC's Ann Thompson tonight, also in Michigan. As for the Democratic presidential race, Bill Bradley and Al Gore debate tonight in New York City on race and urban issues. Earlier in the day, the two contenders checked out the site for their face-off. It's Harlem's landmark Apollo Theater. This is the only scheduled debate in New York before the March 7th primary on the Democratic side. Quality of life, that's an issue that all the candidates are talking about, and tonight, new images from up in space offer a rare glimpse of what's happening to American life, what's really going on down here on the ground. The satellite photos give new meaning to the phrase urban sprawl. More now from NBC's national correspondent, Jim Avila.
Atlanta, the king of sprawl, 110 miles from one end to the other. And tonight, new evidence from NASA cameras in space that Atlanta's crowded landscape makes summers hotter, wetter, and less healthy.
Cities can be anywhere from 3 degrees to 5 degrees to perhaps even 10 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than surrounding rural areas.
Scientists call it an urban heat island. The closer to downtown, the higher the temperatures rise, from farms to suburban residential to commercial to the concrete canyons of downtown and back. A temperature bubble over the city that formed its own unnatural weather pattern.
The heat itself causes clouds to form over the city, and in turn it rains.
Jim Chapman, chairman of Georgians for Transportation Alternatives, rides his bike to work every day in a city with the longest average commute in America, 35 miles a day. A city that in 20 years cut down 380,000 acres of trees to expand.
When it's come to a point where the quality of air is so bad that it's unhealthy to breathe, if that's not a crisis that demands immediate action, I don't know what is.
Today, NASA scientists recommending less construction in American cities, more tree planting, and changing the color of asphalt from black to lighter reflective colors.
And it's not just Atlanta. Jefferson County, Colorado, suburban Denver, 900% growth since the 50s. From the air, 1956, practically empty, a pristine lake in the foothills. Same spot 20 years later, roads began to reach into this remote spot. The lake drained. And now the lake is a memory, replaced by a sprawling shopping center.
You look out over there, and what I used to see as open fields, I now see one continuous roof line from the west to the east.
Pat Moore moved here in 1983 to get away from the city. Now she's surrounded, but refuses to move again, afraid the city will chase her down.
You sometimes have to wonder where it's going to end.
Dangerous sprawl, say the experts. Evidence from cameras in the sky tonight that overcrowding is altering the weather above and land below. Jim Avila, NBC News, Chicago.
Still ahead tonight, your money. Trillions of dollars in retirement accounts. How to make sure your heirs reap the rewards of your hard work.
The way it's set up now, I'm afraid that the government's going to get an awful lot and the kids will have very little.
Safeguarding your money for your kids and grandkids. And Americans in harm's way, the chaos in Kosovo, while the fight over one town threatens the peace and also American troops.
Ask your doctor about Nasonex, the prescription nasal allergy spray that's non-drowsy and won't keep you up at night, taken once a day for relief from nasal allergy worries indoors and out. Approved for children 3 years and up. Side effects were generally mild and included headache, viral infection, sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing. Nasonex, because the less to worry about, the better.
Good evening, Batman.
Alfred.
I've stepped up safety in the Batmobile, sir.
Really?
Should a villain steal it, someone will track it. If your airbag goes off, an advisor will assist you. If you're stranded, satellites will help locate you.
And where have you put all these things?
Just press the OnStar button, sir.
Well done, Alfred.
My pleasure, sir.
OnStar, how can I help you, Batman?
Dad, why do you shave?
Because I don't want a beard.
Why do you wear a tie?
That's easy, because I have to.
Dad, why do you always eat Cheerios?
Because Daddy's cholesterol's kind of high.
And a study shows the whole grain oats in Cheerios can help lower cholesterol when part of a low-fat diet.
Why do you have high cholesterol?
Well, because Daddy used to eat not such good things before he met Mommy.
Daddy?
The one and only Cheerios.
So you want a PC with awesome power, but you don't want to clean out your savings, and you don't want to get off the couch. Well, sit back and call 1-800-GATEWAY. For an incredible $1,299, you can get a Gateway Select PC with a blazing 600 megahertz AMD Athlon processor, and we'll deliver it right to that place you call home. Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
New tonight at 6. Who says the government doesn't listen? The state was going to revoke benefits to people taking care of disabled spouses at home. Why the change of heart? Tonight at 6 on Northwest News Channel 8, where the news comes first. Matt Zaffino, only on Northwest News Channel 8.
NBC News in depth tonight. More on the Republican battle for Michigan. Leading the Bush campaign there, Michigan's Governor John Engler, now in his third term. He says that he's helped 225,000 people get off the state welfare rolls, cut taxes 26 times, and violent crime in Michigan has dropped 25%. But will Engler's influence help or hurt Bush tomorrow? We begin in depth tonight. NBC's Lisa Myers.
That plant gate Governor Bush visited before dawn, a late add to his schedule by Governor John Engler, who wants Bush seen reaching out to union workers.
He had to meet you here.
What a horrible way to wake up. Those thousands of volunteers phoning to get out the vote, mostly Engler's organization.
Republicans need to turn out and vote.
With the intensity of a field general, Engler plots out the smallest detail of the campaign here, personally mapping out Bush's closing bus tour. So he goes to Macomb County and then Oakland County.
He'll go to, actually, he's going to do Oakland first. He's going to come into the Detroit airport. He'll go up to Oakland.
And that's just what he did lately. Last year, he orchestrated an endorsement by a dozen Republican governors, giving Bush early momentum. He even moved up his own state's primary, just in case Bush lost New Hampshire and needed help dousing the flames. You said that if South Carolina is the firewall, Michigan is solid asbestos. You're that confident?
I'm very confident. I know the people of this state, and I think I understand a little bit about how they decide these questions.
But in trying to deliver for Bush, Engler is stepping on toes. This state senator switched from Bush to McCain.
The resentment I pick up is among rank-and-file Republicans who say they don't wish to be told how to vote.
Well, they haven't complained to me.
In Detroit, a state representative is urging Democrats to vote for McCain just to embarrass Engler.
Won't you come out and vote? Any friend of John Engler is an enemy of Detroiters and African Americans in particular, and this is how best to punish John Engler.
So does Engler help or hurt? A new poll finds most voters say he makes no difference. 24% say he makes them less likely to support Bush, only 17% more likely. But most political experts say there's no question the governor helps.
It's probably worth a few points, and many elections are decided by a few points.
If Bush loses here, won't that be a huge personal embarrassment for you?
It'll be a huge personal disappointment, because I'll think that the better man didn't win the race here.
Tonight, Engler is so confident he predicts Bush will sweep all 58 delegates here. He says his biggest worry is that his critics in Detroit will pick off a few delegates and mar a perfect record. Lisa Myers, NBC News, Detroit.
And joining me now with more insight into Michigan, our moderator of Meet the Press, Washington Bureau Chief Tim Russert. Tim, Michigan is a critical primary, and Governor Engler probably will help Governor Bush, don't you think?
He does, Tom, because in this primary, 2 out of every 3 voters traditionally have been hardcore Republican votes, ones that can be tapped into and motivated by the Engler machine. But John McCain has to get Democrats and independents out to support his candidacy. The difficulty is, Tom, when he energizes them, he also seems to motivate hardcore Republicans who say, we don't want those folks taking over our party.
And Tim, what about George W. Bush? After South Carolina and the big win, he did leave behind a lot of scorched earth. He took some pretty controversial positions. Is that going to hurt him in the fall?
Tom, George Bush wanted to win this nomination viewed as the compassionate conservative without having the tilt right. The difficulty is, and you can hear it in the exchanges with Al Gore already, that when he associates himself with Pat Robertson or Bob Jones University or refuses to say the flag should come down from the capital of South Carolina, blacks and women and Catholics get upset. He realizes he has to bring them back into a broad centrist coalition to be elected president. Al Gore has his problems too. Associations with Al Sharpton, the minister up in Harlem, or support of so-called partial birth abortion. Both these men, Tom, have said that they know what they have to do to win. If they are the nominees, it is going to be one tough, brutal campaign.
Thanks very much, NBC's Tim Russert tonight. And next, as Nightly News continues, a fragile peace in danger and Americans in harm's way. Also, your money, what American families need to know to protect the nest eggs that they've been building for years.
Now there's a Chevy Venture with flip and fold seats and a built-in entertainment system.
I knew I should have taken a left turn at Albuquerque.
Introducing the new Warner Brothers edition from Chevy Venture, the most versatile minivan ever. One quick call can help you learn more.
Get $1,500 cash back on any Chevy Venture model, including the popular Venture LS. See your Chevy dealer today.
Itchy allergic rash? The dermatologist I work for recommends Cordate. It stops the itch and helps heal the rash to restore your skin. There's no brand doctors recommend more. In fact, doctors recommend Cordate more than 4 to 1 over Cortisone 10. Cordate, restore your skin.
Eating Quaker oatmeal can help lower cholesterol. We ate it for 30 days and helped ours go down 12 points. Plus, in the wintertime, it makes everything just a little bit warmer. Quaker oatmeal warms you heart and soul.
You see what Duvall did yesterday?
Yeah.
He shouldn't have laid up on that short par 5. He should have used the 3 wood and gone for it. What was he thinking?
See what Teltex did yesterday? Yeah. They should have offered $68 a share for that Italian multinational. They should have acquired something with less long-term debt, better distribution in Pacific Rim.
When we created a smarter kind of investment firm, we created a smarter kind of investor.
Dumb.
Yoo-hoo! Does your daily shower cleaner disinfect? Ooh, guess that's a no. Get Lysol Daily Shower Cleaner, the only one that disinfects. Lysol Daily Shower Cleaner helps protect. You have our word on it.
A proper gentleman eats one cookie at a time.
But these aren't cookies. They're Newtons.
Well, we can't be proper all the time, now can we?
A cookie is just a cookie, but fat-free Newtons are fruit and cake.
Nature made me a person of many parts. Nature made me determined to make all of them last. And thankfully, to help, there are premium quality nature-made vitamins and herbs, like vitamin C, which research shows can help keep my immune system strong. There's no stopping me, because nature made me.
This week, Body Alert. You have all the signs. Is it a heart attack, anxiety attack, or just gas? How to know which symptoms you can't ignore this week on Today.
It's like Today, only later. Later today, weekdays on NBC.
Sudden impact tonight. Deadly avalanches in the Swiss and Italian Alps at the height of the ski season. As a result, at least 6 skiers are dead, including 2 women and a man buried by sliding snow in Italy. While in Switzerland, avalanches killed 3 people near the resort of Davos. In Iran tonight, a big defeat for the hardline policies that have defined that country for so many years. With almost all of the votes counted from Friday's election, reform candidates won more than 70% of the seats in the Iranian parliament. The results are seen as a clear message that Iranians have had enough of 2 decades of iron-fisted fundamentalist rule. And there's a warning tonight from this country's ambassador to the United Nations. Richard Holbrooke is saying a violent situation in Serbia's breakaway province of Kosovo is dangerous and that the government in Belgrade is responsible for it. It is happening in Mitrovica, a town in northern Kosovo where the divisions among Serbs and ethnic Albanians are deep and raw and violent. NBC's Jim Maceda is there tonight.
Just 8 months after the U.S. and NATO were supposed to bring peace to Kosovo, it is all unraveling. Today, U.S. troops, part of the NATO peacekeeping force, span out across Mitrovica, the third largest town in Kosovo, searching house to house for weapons in the hands of Serb and Albanian extremists who have turned this town into a front line of ethnic hatred. Yesterday, U.S. troops were attacked with rocks and bricks. This is just the latest sign of mounting ethnic tension that has turned Mitrovica into a flashpoint of the ongoing conflict in Kosovo. In the last 3 weeks, violence has left 11 dead, dozens wounded, and now critics fear this violence could threaten the whole peace mission.
There are extremists in both communities that want to see a resumption of conflict.
Lima 5-1 Mike, Lima 1 Mike.
This is the man caught in the middle, UN Director Mario Marconi. His job to make sure the peace doesn't unravel any further.
You must push and push again and push again.
The de facto mayor of Mitrovica, he is trying to restore a sense of community. Today, his goal to get enemies, Serb and Albanian miners, to work together again. For now, the rich gold and silver mines that ring Mitrovica are shut down because both sides refuse even to meet.
I'm trying every day, but it's difficult.
Critics say Yugoslav President Slobodan Milosevic is working behind the scenes to incite violence in Mitrovica.
And Milosevic is working towards partition. Part of his plan all along has been to divide Kosovo.
Milosevic appears to be succeeding. Here, the northern part of town almost empty of Albanians driven out. Today, even a peace march can't stop hatred spilling into the streets of Kosovo. NATO's commander warns he will do whatever it takes to bring law and order with more troops and tanks. There is little chance of this mission ending anytime soon. Jim Maceda, NBC News, Mitrovica.
I'll be right back.
When we asked some denture wearers why they don't use an adhesive, they didn't have a lot to say.
Don't need it.
My dentures fit fine. No problems here.
But after we gave them Fix-A-Dent, they just couldn't say enough.
It's amazing, the difference. It's a great new feeling of security.
Comfort.
Confidence.
I just plain forget I have them.
That's because Fix-A-Dent adjusts to the unique contours of your dentures and gums, forming a thin, powerful seal for a better hold than you ever thought possible.
I could just kick myself for not doing this sooner.
Find out for yourself what it feels like to Fix-A-Dent and forget it.
Well?
I asked my doctor about Lipitor.
Ask your doctor what Lipitor can do for you, or call 1-888-LIPITOR to learn more. Lipitor.
Don't get that, Frank.
Hello? Baxter!
Meow, meow, meow.
Meow Mix has a new improved recipe that tastes better than ever. So good, cats ask for it by name.
Meow, meow, meow.
It's Baxter!
7 days a week, every day of the year. Count on the Home Depot for the guaranteed low price on over 50,000 home improvement items. And even if you do find a lower price, we won't just meet it, we'll beat it by 10% every day. Because at the Home Depot, we're committed to giving you the lowest price possible. No mail-in rebates, no gimmicks, no hassles. The Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
Wind tunnel by Hoover picks up more dirt than any other clean air upright. And you can get one that self-propels.
Now there's something new for both of you. 100% of your daily calcium requirement, plus all the heartburn relief of Mylanta. Introducing new Mylanta Calcitabs. It's just what you're both looking for.
Right now, when you choose from the lowest priced minivan to the ultimate, you can get $1,500 cash allowance or 0.9 financing for 60 months, which means you can save over $4,700 in finance savings on a new Chrysler Town & Country. and the popular Voyager. Now get $1,500 cash allowance or 0.9 financing for 60 months on all new minivans. At your Chrysler and Plymouth dealer today.
Another reason CNBC.com's portfolio tracker has been called the best on the web. Get email alerts when a stock hits your price on CNBC.com. Profit from it.
Tomorrow, they were young men and women fighting against the odds, forgotten heroes of a forgotten war. Now, at last, their stories of courage will be told. NBC Nightly News tomorrow.
Your money tonight and your family. A generation of older Americans is about to pass down the largest amount of retirement money ever to their families. An extraordinary amount in IRAs, 401ks, and assorted other investments that have paid off handsomely in these boom times. But how to keep that money in the family, away from the tax collector? NBC's chief financial correspondent is Mike Jensen.
Guys, you ready?
Frank Johnson is one of 62 million Americans sitting on a pot of gold. Altogether, $4 trillion stashed away in retirement accounts. His IRA worth $600,000. He wants to leave it to his children and grandchildren.
What you need is a rocket ship. And I shall build one, said Bear.
The booming economy has made this generation of American retirees the richest in history. IRAs and 401ks averaging $65,000 and running up to millions. More retirement money than many older Americans think they need for themselves. Plenty to leave to their families. But there's a hitch. Unless they take certain steps now, the tax collector could get as much as 80% of that money. How to prevent that?
Hey, Frank.
A few simple steps, says Ed Slott, a leading expert on IRAs.
Who's the beneficiary of this IRA?
I'm not sure. I believe my son's not really positive.
Frank Johnson checked and discovered he never named his son beneficiary after becoming a widower, meaning his IRA would go to his estate, be stripped of its special tax status, lose most of its value. What to do?
Get a copy of that beneficiary form. Call the financial institution tomorrow if you can't find it.
The next piece of advice, take out an insurance policy to pay any estate taxes that will eventually fall due on your IRA or 401k, so your heirs won't have to cash it in. Frank Johnson took the advice, named his son beneficiary, and is buying a new insurance policy. Experts say the result is the IRA money he saved could grow to $10 million in 40 years if his heirs leave it alone.
I mean, it's going to cost me a little insurance in the meantime, but that's a small amount to pay.
For Frank Johnson and 70 million other Americans over 50 counting down to retirement or already there,
10, 9, 8, 7,
a way to make sure their children and grandchildren benefit from the retirement nest eggs it took them a lifetime to accumulate. Mike Jensen, NBC News, New York.
Good job.
One member of that generation who died, an enormously wealthy man in money, but especially in friends and admirers, was remembered today. Charles Schultz, the World War II veteran who gave the world Peanuts, Charlie Brown, Snoopy, Lucy and the gang. Thousands showed up for his memorial service in Santa Rosa, California, and heard his daughter, Amy Schultz Johnson, talk about his legacy in her own words.
Why do we feel so completely attached to what Dad referred to as a bunch of funny-looking kids? Why are our hearts breaking today? Our security blanket is gone. I pray that you will understand the miracle that took place and that you will wake up tomorrow morning, open your newspaper to the comics section and smile. Because that is what Dad would want you to do.
That's Nightly News for Monday. Dayline tonight at 9. I'm Tom Brokaw. I'll see you again tomorrow night.
Nightly News is a presentation of NBC News. More Americans watch NBC News than any other news organization in the world. From KGW, where the news comes first, this is Northwest News Channel 8 at 6.
You are looking at an image of Portland taken from space, but it's what you don't see that's really remarkable. Urban sprawl. Hello, thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Jensen.
And I'm Tracy Berry. Our top story, a model city. That's what they're calling Portland tonight, hailing it as a thriving city that has grown rapidly without resorting to urban sprawl. Tonight, new pictures to